We're here with Miss Patti Keffe, who is the manager of the network and telecommunications here at Santa Fe. How are you doing today, Miss Keffe?
I'm doing good, and how are you doing?
I'm doing fine. We just want to ask you a couple questions. I guess the opening question would be, how long have you been in this field?
I've been in this field since there was a field. I started with computers and IT infrastructure in 1975. So I have been doing this literally forever. I've been here at Santa Fe for 16 years. Before that, I worked for a number of vendors and also for a multinational aluminum company. Always in computer networking and telecommunications.
Okay. All right. And how did you get started? Why this field?
Well, it's kind of very strange. I got started in this field. I studied architecture in college, and that was where I thought my direction was going to be. But at that time, it was not wasn't a really good field for women, to be perfectly honest. There wasn't a lot of opportunity for women at the time. But the company that I went to work for out of school was an engineering firm, and they had an electronic calculator from a company called Wang Laboratories. And part of my job was to learn to make that calculator do things, and it required programming in assembly language. So I learned to do the programming, and as a result, the Wang Laboratories people would bring people in to show how the calculator worked, and I would give little demonstrations of things that I had done. So they offered me a job. And from that point, I've been in this industry ever since. Okay.
And here at Santa Fe, for what you do, what is a typical day, or what are some of your duties?
Well, since I've been at Santa Fe, I've always been the network manager. Okay, and falling under my responsibility is all of the infrastructure that connects everybody to the network, all of the routers and switches, and the telephone switching equipment. We use IP telephony here at Santa Fe. I'm also responsible for all of the links between the the WAN sites, like for example our other campuses, and our connections to UF and to the internet, and all of the design of the data center networking. Basically everything except the server operating systems, which at one point when I first started was part of the department, but then we spun them off because they were becoming more like regular traditional data center operating systems than they were distributed environment. And I'm also responsible for all of the firewalls and all of the security.
Okay. All right. And what management tools do you use?
Well, we use, since a good part of our security and routing infrastructure is Cisco, we use Cisco CCP. We also use WhatsUp Gold, which is a commercial product that allows you to manage your devices no matter whose vendor. Vendor specific, whereas the Cisco CCP is a vendor specific tool.
So to even interact with the Cisco?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right. And what about the brand of machines here at Santa Fe?
For network infrastructure, we are primarily Cisco for routing and security, and a company called Alcatel for our IP telephony and for our switching. So we are a multi-vendor environment. We do have two separate vendors that we require that they interact. Now on the server side, we are almost entirely IBM. Almost all of our servers are Blade Center servers, and they're provided by IBM.
Okay. And I know through Santa Fe we have websites. Each student, like especially in the technology department, has a website. So Santa Fe does its own web hosting.
Yes.
Okay. Do we offer any other services? Like, do our servers do any other type of hosting besides for students, or besides for Santa Fe website itself?
Yes, we do. We have hosted services for eSanta Fe, which I'm sure you interact with when you register and when you get information, and when you get to the distance learning products like Angel. I'm sure you interact with the eSanta Fe
every day.
We have a corresponding portal called eStaff, which enables our staff to do their work, which is things like payroll and financial aid processing and all of the functions that they have to do to get their normal day purchasing inventory, all of the things that a regular business would have. In addition to that, we host a number of software packages for our various departments, including learning software, also for example, our facilities system, that they track all of their jobs and they take all of the work orders, like if you want to have, a new light installed or a doorway, some facility construction type project. They have all of their project management. We host that as well. We also host FTP sites, just the average range of things that you would get from a normal running the business perspective.
Okay. And how do you handle the power that the servers require? Do you have a number for the amount of servers we have here, or estimate for how many servers?
Well, on any day, because of the fact that we are very heavily virtualized, the number changes based on load. But we probably have in the neighborhood of 100.
100?
I would say, different servers
running at any one time.
Because we have DNS, we have all of the Microsoft functions, we have Microsoft Exchange. We have quite a bit of your typical, like I said, run the business type applications. And because we are virtualized, it's easy to take servers up and down because they're not physical boxes. They're instances on a Blade server. So it makes it much easier. And
just to add on, what virtualization software do you use? You use VMware?
We use VMware.
Is there a reason for that over VirtualBox or any of the other?
I think we've been doing it for such a long time. When we got into the business, there was really only Citrix and VMware. So Citrix did not meet our needs at the time. So we kind of became a VMware shop. Okay. And it's been sort of traditional since then.
That's right. It works. So.
It works, and we're familiar with the product. We have people trained in how to operate it and everything, and it meets our needs. Okay. So that's the primary reason.
All right. Well, thank you for your time today.
No
really
problem.
Appreciate it.
No problem.
All right.